My marriage with my wife, Mary, 31F, feels like it's unraveling at the seams. I just have so much anger, disgust and resentment inside me to the point that regular everyday living feels impossible. I want to scream all the time and it feels like I'll never be my carefree self again. Yes, I'm in therapy and have told my wife I really think we need couples/marriage counseling too. She's thinking about it. This is long, so if you can be bothered to read it, buckle in. TLDR below. My best friend, Ben, was my ride or die. We met when we were 5 and were inseparable since then. We were there for each other during all of life's big moments and turns. His place turned into my second home when my parents went through their explosive divorce when I was 11. I was there for him and mourned with him when his younger sister died of cancer when we were 15 and she was only 10. You name it, we worked through it. He was the only one to not freak out on me when I decided to drop out of college to pursue a trade. There was never a moment where either of us were worried about the other's reaction, or what they'd say or think. Ben was the type of guy people knew could make anyone feel better, regardless of the situation. He always knew what to say and what you needed, even if you didn't agree at the time. He's the best person I've ever had the privilege of meeting and the world was a better place with him in it. I unfortunately know I have to put this in here. No, Ben and I were never in love with each other like that. We were really close best friends/brothers. Ben met his wife, Sally, in his junior year of college and I knew Sally was going to be the greatest love of his life. She was so open, warm and adventurous. Like Ben, she had a smile that lit up the whole room and effortlessly made everyone feel like her best friend. Everyone, including Meisel F., looked at them as that perfect couple everyone knows. They got married 2 years into dating. Ben always told me how excited he was to love, hold and protect her forever. All the ways he wanted to make her happy. He showed his love for her every day in his words and actions. I was so happy for him, because I thought she did the same. I helped her plan his surprise 30th birthday party, where he was reduced to tears upon seeing she spent hours making him a Mario Kart Rainbow Road themed cake. They talked about children, holidays, rescuing animals, growing their own fruits and vegetables. Sally quickly became a sister to me and became very close friends with Mary. The four of us went on countless holidays, helped each other through life's challenges, went on at least one double date a fortnight, etc. About 5 months ago, I woke up to 5 missed calls from Ben between the hours of 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. the night before and I just had a feeling something really bad had happened. I called out of work and drove straight to his place. Sally had been cheating on Ben pretty much their entire relationship. When I confronted her and asked how she could do such a thing, and why get married in the first place if you're going to cheat the entire time, she broke down and told me it was more like living a double life. Sally was gay. She'd known since she was a teenager but never felt like she could come out because of conservative family. She met Ben and fell in love with him, and counted on her feelings for women just somehow going away. She said she genuinely loved him as a person and life partner, but that secret part of her only grew stronger and louder over the years. She casually dated and hooked up with women, telling Ben she was hanging out with friends from her hobbies/friend groups. He only found out the night he'd called me because one of the women Sally was seeing wanted to take their relationship further and freaked out when Sally broke up with her instead. This Oman showed up to their house late at night and told Ben everything. Ben was absolutely shattered. He gave everything to Sally and loved her wholeheartedly and it wasn't even with the real her. She claimed to love him, but I can't help but think she was using him. She lied to everyone, let us think she loved and adored Ben as much as he loved her. Also that she could have her cake and eat it too. I was quick to tell Ben he deserved better, but Sally apparently begged on her hands and knees. Told him she really did love him, and that she was willing to do anything to make it better. She would never talk to any women ever again, they could move somewhere new and start fresh, all that bullcrap. Ben fell into a deep depression because he realized he never knew the real Sally, but he did really love her. He agonized over what to do until he got hit by a drunk driver while out on a late night walk 2 months ago. I won't go into how it felt to lose him, I'm sure you can all imagine. It was made worse by having that bitch crying at his funeral, crying like he really was the love of his life and she was the perfect wife. It was the first time in my life I ever wanted to hit someone. I couldn't believe the audacity she had to show her face around Ben's loved ones, especially the ones that knew the truth. Mary knows how I feel about Sally and I thought she understood that Sally is dead to us. I know I can't dictate who a person should/can be friends with, but if I had a mutual friend with Mary that shattered her as much as Sally did to me, I'd cut them off with no question. I can't be friends with someone who hurts my loved ones like that. About 2 weeks ago, I came home from a work trip early and Mary was consoling Sally in our living room. I lost my shit. Asked them if they were having an affair, screamed to the point of crying. I asked Mary how she could have Sally in the living room where we have a photo of Ben hanging on the wall. Sally tried to apologize to me and airs where I was probably I looked at her crying face and it was like a switch flipped in me. I immediately stopped crying and yelling and I just looked at her and said, the biggest injustice here is that you're here while Ben is in the ground. If the world were fair, I'd be able to press a button to swap your places and I'd do that in a heartbeat. You might be able to trick my wife into feeling sorry for you but you're dead to me. I see what you really are and you're trash. You tricked Ben into falling in love with you so you could pretend to be mommy and daddy's good little straight girl while fucking whoever you wanted on the side. I can't even fathom or quantify your selfishness. If I woke up tomorrow and I was you, I'd never get out of bed ever again. Mary says I was cruel, and I guess I was, but it was my truth. Apparently, Sally hasn't left her house since that confrontation. It's to the point she's lost her job because of not going into the office. The thing is, I don't feel bad about it. I think it's the least she could do, and I hope she continues to not exist in my world. Mary knows I feel this way, but still goes to Sally's place to bring her meals and help clean up the place. It honestly disgusts me. We've had many explosive arguments about it, and for the first time in our marriage, I feel like we might not recover from this. We both feel like we've seen a new side to each other and we don't know if we'll be able to move past it. I write this here because we've kept this situation to ourselves. Other people in our lives know something is up, but have been too afraid to ask. Update 1. A further thank you to people who reached out to me and shared their experiences losing a best friend. I'm sorry you guys lost your best friends too. It's like a sledgehammer to the chest that won't dislodge itself. On to the update. It's only been a week, but it's felt like forever. Mary couldn't handle the fights and disagreements anymore and packed her bags day after my post. I knew this was probably for the best and didn't have it in me to argue or fight for her to stay. I just asked, "Are you going to Sally?" To which she just sighed and shook her head at me before leaving. Her eyes had nothing but exhaustion and disdain inside, and to be fair, I'm sure mine were the same. The town I live in isn't that big, so I've had a few friends reach out to me that they saw Mary at Sally's place, or that the two were seen grocery shopping together. I wake up every day to an empty house, knowing Mary is at Sally's. Looking after her. Asking if she's okay. Cooking her meals. Cleaning her house. She hasn't called or texted me at all, other than to answer my call last night with, "I'm not going to talk to you until you apologize to Sally." And hanging up when I try to explain myself. I know I'd be lying if I said I felt bad for what I said to Sally at all. There's no point in hollow apologies, and I especially don't think there's a point if there's nothing left to fix in my marriage. Mary has made it clear where her loyalties and priorities lie. I just don't understand how she can go from holding me while I cried in her arms to choosing Sally over me and ignoring me. My therapist is advising me to let myself just feel my feelings and process before making any big life choices, and she's probably right, but I've lost all respect for Mary. I never would have thought she'd betray me this way. I lied awake last night when I suddenly had the thought, what if Mary came back on her hands and knees, begging and apologizing? What if she gave me the best apology she could possibly give me for this situation? What would it change? It breaks my heart, but deep down, I feel like it wouldn't change anything. There's some things that can't be forgiven. There were a few comments and DMs asking if Mary and Sally could be having an affair, or if Mary knew about Sally before everything exploded. These questions did keep me up when all of this started going down, but now I can't bring myself to care. My life doesn't make any more, so another clusterfuck detail wouldn't really change much in the grand scheme of things. I've drafted a text that could be the last text I sent to Mary, and it goes as follows. Mary. Your priorities and loyalties in this situation have been made very clear to me. I don't know if you want to try to save our marriage and the life we've built together, but at this point, I don't think there's anything left of it to save. You abandoned me during what I can only hope is the worst time of my life. You've invalidated my grief and anger for what? The woman who's been lying to and betraying us for years? The woman who used and strung Ben along for years? I don't recognize you right now. It's like I went to bed in a world that made sense one night and woke up in a nightmare. I think the only way forward here is for us to get lawyers and communicate through lawyers. I will not be leaving my house. If you want to collect your things, please let relative know so I can arrange that with them. I can't believe this is happening. I never thought this would be what we've become, but choices have been made. I've been reading and redrafting this message over and over again for hours. Sometimes, it breaks my heart, and other times, it's like I'm an outsider watching myself in a bad movie. The worst thing is, I don't even know if Mary will care about it. Update 2. I've had a few people ask in comments and DMs about what I said to Mary in our arguments to make her leave. I didn't put that in here originally because we were honestly just going in circles again and again. It was nothing short of exhausting. Mary kept on insisting that Sally is still one of her closest friends and that she's not going to abandon her because she made a mistake. To which, I'd remind her that her mistake was to make the choice again and again to lie to Ben and everyone around her, robbing Ben of the chance to find someone who would truly love him the way he deserved while sleeping with and dating women while they were married. I can't imagine how scary it must be having to hide such a big part of yourself, but not everything can or should be forgiven. She could have been honest early on and she would have had a group of friends who'd have her back and support her however they could, but instead, she chose to string Ben along. If Ben had died thinking he had the perfect marriage he thought he had, things would be different, but he didn't. He died lost and in pain as a direct result of Sally, the feeling lost and in pain. I know his death was an accident nobody could have seen coming. Mary thinks and claims I'm a callous fuck, and I think she should have higher moral standards for her friends. Now story 2. Fiancé went completely insane and got a secret face tattoo, blocking my number and ghosting me when confronted about it. I am honestly stunned right now. My fiancée Kim, I have just learned, is completely insane. She took some days off work this week sick and avoided seeing most people in person. She claimed she was feeling sick and just wanted to stay home alone. She has never given me any indication that she would lie about this in the 6 years we've been together. No one in her family had any worries because she was a stable individual who would never do anything crazy. She got a face tattoo. She took 3 sick days from work to recover from the fact that she got a face tattoo. She told no one of this plan beforehand. I have never in our time together been talked to about tattoos by Kim. She showed no indication that she was even interested in getting any. I was not even the first to learn. Her sister visited her because she got worried after Kim canceled meeting with her for lunch on her 3rd day sick and got the grand reveal. She didn't tell anyone beforehand because she didn't want to be talked out of it and hit the results because the swelling and redness were so bad that W.E. would react badly and not be able to understand the artistic meaning. Kim is Asian American. She got Japanese symbols going down her forehead and under her eye. I don't know the meaning of them. I don't really know if I care to know the meaning of them. Kim's parents are Japanese immigrants. According to her sister, who was nice enough to inform me of this whole debacle, this is a big no-no in Japanese culture. Tattoos have links to crime and are looked down upon. Her parents are beside themselves, and that is a whole other set of drama I can't even begin to approach. Kim talked to me last night about it, and acted offended and started a fight because I told her it was absolutely insane of her to do this. She works a public-facing job. She talks face-to-face with clients in the financial industry. The minute her boss finds out, the career that she went to school for will be over. She actually didn't consider her job, or family, or me at all, and decided a long time ago she was going to express herself freely without any concerns. I'm worried about her right now. This is not normal. She blocked my number after our fight and is ghosting me and her sister because we're trying to help. But, dear Lord, this is far beyond me. I cannot comprehend what I'm even supposed to do right now. Kim's lost her mind. Is there any chance I will be happy married too? This? A woman who went and got a face tattoo, and hid that fact because she knew we would all talk her out of it. Dear Lord, I really need to run, don't I? Wow, this got some attention, huh? I read through the replies, but I can't really respond to all of you, so I'll just update here. The engagement is pretty much off. Kim has told me she never wants to see me again, and I woke up this morning with her ring and a box of stuff I gave her on my porch. I don't know what's going on with her. Her sister and family have been trying their best, but nothing on their end is working. I brought up to her sister the idea this is a mental breakdown and they're looking into getting her help. It's painfully slow, considering Kim is not responding to anything and is refusing to talk to anyone. I really don't know what to say here, I guess. To answer some questions, Kim is 29, and I'm 28. In the 7 years I've known her, she has never acted like this at all. She had a good relationship with her parents, and while they were a bit overbearing at times, they supported her in going to college and getting a career rather than starting a family. From what I've gathered, they probably would have been fine with any tattoo she got as long as it was not on her face, neck, or hands. Even then, this kind of behavior is as far from Kim as I could have imagined. She just lost her mind out of nowhere? It's not like I can do anything about it either. She's blocked my number and does not want to see me. I'm just at a loss for words. One day I'm engaged, and the net I'm not, and my ex has a face tattoo. Update 1. About 9 months ago, my ex-fiancée Kim got a face tattoo without telling anyone. This was just the start of her doing everything she could to ruin her life. She broke up with me and called off our 7-year relationship when I questioned why she did this. She worked in a client-facing job for an incredibly large financial institution and was let go within a month of showing back up for work after getting the tattoo. I kept in contact with Kim's sister hoping for some news. They tried to get her help, as they thought she was having some kind of psychotic break. However, she eventually called the police on her own family claiming they were harassing her. After that, I decided to just walk away. Kim didn't just destroy her own life. When she broke up with me, I felt numb. I knew this wasn't Kim doing this. I wanted to believe deep down that Kim was always like this. Always this impulsive crazy who would ruin her life by getting a face tattoo. I tried to convince myself that I had not lost a wonderful woman, and who I had spent 7 years of my life with. However, the person who made these choices was not Kim. The woman who told me over the phone she hated my guts for not supporting her. The woman who wrote she hated me and only ever stayed with me out of pity. That was not the woman I asked to marry. That was not Kim. That was someone, who I came to find out, was having a mental breakdown. That resulted in months of bad decisions that will affect the rest of her life. The day I walked away and told her sister I could not deal with it anymore was the worst day of my life. It hit me like a train. The numbness and denial of what I lost hit me all at once. I almost quit my own job and moved back home to my parents. I can only thank my boss for being so understanding that she let me take 4 weeks off to deal with what happened. She and the rest of my team went far beyond what should ever be expected of coworkers and management that it makes me realize how close I was to leaving a job I actually enjoy. I never moved on from Kim, but I came to accept what had happened. I thought I was okay, until 2 weeks ago. I got a call from Kim. She had blocked my number, and done everything she could to remove me from her life. My mind just blanked when I saw it was her calling. I picked up, and it was actually her. We didn't talk, I did not know what to say to her. We decided she would come over to my place, and we talked. The tattoo is still there, but she's covering it up now with makeup. She says when she has the funds she's going to look into getting it removed if possible. She had lost a lot of weight since I last saw her. She's not been able to find a new job, she'll probably need to move to a new city for that. She wasn't the Kim I had fallen in love with. She was like a shell of her, something just wasn't there anymore that used to be. Kim told me what had happened. The year leading up to the tattoo was awful for her. The stress of everything seemed to pile up more and more. I'll respect her, and keep much of what she told me secret. However, the thing that is important is that she secretly started doing methamphetamines to keep her performance up at work and to deal with everything. And one day, she just out of nowhere decided she hated everything about her life. She explained why at the time she wanted the tattoo. It doesn't really make much sense, but a lot of what she was thinking at the time didn't. And from there, she just lost control of everything. I won't talk about what happened after she disappeared, but it is not pretty. There are things she did that will follow her for the rest of her life. It explained a lot, but it did not make things any better. We talked for nearly the entire night. She didn't leave my place till almost 4 a.m. Since then, she said that she wants to try and get back together with me. She admitted she knows things cannot be the same. Yet, she wants to try. I haven't talked to anyone about what I'm about to say yet. I've held off on talking to Kim about it because it feels selfish. But, there's something about the way Kim acts about the way it affected my life that irks me. When we talked that night, she said that I was lucky she cut me off. I was lucky I didn't get put through any of this. I was lucky that my crazy ex wasn't at my door screaming or showing up to my work and causing a scene. She acts like my life wasn't affected at all. I told her what happened after she left. How much it hurt, how I almost quit my job and moves across the country. Her response was dismissive. Like because I didn't go through with it I don't get to complain. She acted like because I was not the one with the tattoo on her face, I don't get to act like it had long-lasting effects on me. She didn't even apologize for the explicit and hateful note she left with my things when she returned them. Or for the phone call where she called me a manipulative selfish asshole who only wanted her for her body. Or even just for breaking up with me. She knows she was wrong to do it, but it's almost as if she's acting like because she had a breakdown, I can't hold her accountable for what she did to me because it wasn't long-lasting. I texted her last night, saying how hard it was for me when she left. She ignored it entirely and tried to move on. No acknowledgement at all. I don't know why, but it hurt me. It hurt me so much. I feel like I did back when all those emotions finally hit me after she left. I wish she had just never come back into my life now. I wish I didn't know what happened. I wish I hadn't picked up the call. Because it hurts. But, a part of me feels like I'm being selfish or complaining too much. That I don't get to feel this way, because I'm not the one who had the mental breakdown. Update 2. I learned yesterday that my ex, Kim, died of a drug overdose Sunday. I'm still processing the news I guess. We broke up 2 years ago after Kim got a face tattoo out of nowhere. I have some other posts on this account about that if you want the full story. Kim reappeared in my life about a year ago after breaking up with me and essentially becoming a ghost. She wanted to get back together with me, and I stupidly considered it and let her get the foot in the door. She claimed she was clean but she wasn't. It was obvious she was still using meth, and my guess is she was still using fentanyl. After I finally declined to get back together with her, she slashed my tires after causing a scene at my office. Luckily she's been out of my life for 6-ish months now after some cop put the fear of God in her after she broke the restraining order. I've not heard much about Kim since then, thankfully. Last I heard she was wanted on a warrant and was hiding low across state lines. Yesterday, though, Kim's sister called me to let me know she was found dead Sunday morning. She wanted me to hear it from her instead of through the grapevine. I appreciate it, despite everything Kim's family have been nothing but kind to me. Kim's parents are quietly cremating her and there won't be any ceremony. Seems that stealing and abusing her family since she started doing meth has made them just as detached about her as me. Or, maybe they've already mourned the loss of their daughter long ago, and now is just the end of whatever remained. Right now, I don't know how to feel. I feel like I should be sad. I knew Kim for 7 years, I was with her for 6. I was engaged to her. I lost my virginity to her. She was the first person I truly loved. I used to sit up with her and talk about the family I wanted to have. I wanted Kim to be the mother to my kids. Sat up with me as I cried when I heard the news of my mother's death. At one point in my life, she was the most important thing in the world to me. And I don't feel anything. When Kim left me, I was devastated. When she came back into my life, she made me feel a combination of emotions I can't even describe. And now, hearing the news that she's dead, I don't feel anything. I don't feel numb, I'm not in shock. I just am lacking any emotion towards this event at all. I feel like I should feel something. Right? I still miss Kim. Not the Kim that died Sunday. Not the Kim that stalked me. But the Kim I met. The Kim I fell in love with. The Kim that died when she started to do meth. I still feel sad when I think about her. But, knowing this other Kim is dead, just makes me feel nothing.